Well, welcome back to Life on Cars, and I hope you're all keeping well. Something a bit different today. Now, you might remember a couple of episodes ago we did a review on a launch diagnostic scan tool, which was a Jaguar specific scan tool, which turned out to be quite a good product. And if you haven't seen that, you can check out the episode. I'll put a link in the description. Anyway, Launch have got back in touch with me and asked me if I wouldn't mind testing on a couple of projects a different scan tool, but this one actually is for any vehicle. But the main job for this scan tool is to check for fault codes and read live data. So it's a generic scan tool. So the only way we're going to find out whether we think this is any good or not is to test it on 3 different vehicles. So I'm going to test it on 3 completely different vehicles. I'm also going to film this video in real time in terms of I'm going to be filming from the moment I plug this in to when it starts to work and communicate with the vehicle. That way we can see how long it actually takes to work, how long it takes to boot up, etc. And that'll give you a good idea of whether or not you think this product's any good or not. So come on, let's get it out of the box, have a quick look, and then we'll give it a try. Let's go. So what have we actually got here? Well, we've got a Launch C-Reader CRP129E version 2. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? What do we get in the box? Well, it actually comes with a nice carry bag, storage bag, which is nice. And obviously the cable and user manuals and things like that. There's the actual product. It's a decent sized screen. Feels nice to hold, etc. So let's get the cable attached and let's give it a go. I've just done a full service on a family member's Ford Focus estate car, diesel, and it needs to have the service light reset, and also we do have a tire pressure fault, which maybe this can help us with, I don't know. So let's get it plugged into that Ford Focus and see what happens. So yeah, we've just done a full service on this Ford Focus diesel, and it does have a warning light on for tire pressure monitoring, which we can't seem to get off. But also I want to just check to see if we can turn the service lights off as well. Alright, we're just popping the ignition on. We're going to see if this diagnostic tool will power up. Check tyre pressures is coming on the dash. Can you see that there? Which comes on every single time, doesn't it? Alright, turn the fan down so we can hear what's going on. Alright, let's power this up. Alright, it's booting up. Let's see if it does an auto detect once it's fired up. Alright. Oh, it's doing an automatic VIN scan. (2012) Ford, yes. (1.6) dual torque turbo diesel, common injection manual. Is the information correct? Year 2012 Focus. Yes, it is. That's good. Okay. Right, so it's coming up with a couple of flags. Hang on a minute, here we go. So it's saying there's 2 problems with the ABS system, 2 problems in the powertrain control module. Data received from the ECM control module is invalid. Lost communication with the steering angle sensor. It's interesting. And we've got brake booster pressure sensor circuit low. Okay. So we have a couple of powertrain codes, which we'll see if we can clear off in a minute. But what I wanted to do, because we've just serviced the car, I want to see if we can do any kind of service reset as well before we go any further. Yep. Right, we've just gone back to the main menu. We're just going to go into reset. So let's see if we can do an oil reset. Right, so we had to do some manual functions there, but the launch computer showed us how to do that. So we've now done the oil reset. That's good. So what's quite clever when you go into special functions is you get a lot of different options depending on the vehicle, and then it'll either do it electronically or it'll give you the manual instructions to do the resets. So we've just gone through the oil reset for this Ford Focus, told us what to do, told us to put the ignition on, hold the brake and the accelerator down, and then it went into the reset, so that was useful. Right, let's go back now and see if we can figure out why we're getting the tyre pressure monitoring light coming on. So on this Ford Focus, when you put the ignition on, every time it brings up check tyre pressures, and we don't seem to be able to get rid of that. So let's just see if we've got a problem with the sensor. Back on auto detect. So we're going to go into diagnose. Right, we've just gone back into this menu here because we've noticed we've got the TPMS, the tyre pressure monitoring system. So let's just go into this and see if we can do a reset. Whether or not this will force the TPMS to cancel that warning, we're not sure. We might have a faulty sensor on this car which is constantly flagging up a low pressure. But we'll give this a go. Looks like they might be giving us some manual instructions again. It's not supported by this particular machine. Never mind. Right, we've gone back into the diagnostic trouble codes because we're just going to see if any of these are constant. So we have the data received from ECM is invalid. That could be a potential CAN bus glitch or something like that. So we'll see if that'll clear off. And it says lost communication with steering angle. Again, might just be a one-off. So we're going to see if we can clear that. And the other two was something to do with the brake booster pressure sensor. Now we're not getting any warning lights. Not getting any engine management warning lights, so that's an interesting one. So again, we'll see if we can clear these off. So clear code, yes. So now we are back to normal by the looks of things. And then we're going to run the car and see if those faults come back on. Right, let's get this car started up. So yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to solve the tyre pressure monitoring fault today. But let's see what happens now when we go back into this, see if anything comes back on. I do like the automatic scan function on this, not messing around inputting the vehicle's details every time. Right, looks like the two faults on the PCM have come straight back on. So it looks like there could be potentially a brake boost pressure sensor problem on this car, but I'll just have to report that back to the owner to monitor that, because we're not getting any engine management lights on the dashboard, so that's interesting. That but it looks like we've got rid of the ABS fault, so that might have just been a glitch in the system, and everything else is coming up normal. So just one to monitor, I think, on this car. Happy days. So here we go then, 70 plate Audi. This is my daily driver. I think some of you have seen this before. Let's get it plugged in, see what happens. So I think on this Audi, the OBD port is here, yes. Okay, we're in. Oh, she's fired up straight away. Wait a minute, I'm not starting the car yet. Right. Just pop the ignition on, just to make sure all the computers are fired up. Audi. Okay. We're in. We are in. Excellent. Now I'm not expecting to find any faults because the engine management light is not showing on this car. But I just want to have a play and see what we can do. So engine diagnostics, DTC 0, data stream 0, brakes 0, 0, 0. Okay. So what else can we do? Engine electronics, enter. Brings up all the chassis number and everything. So module information, read DC, clear, read data stream. So we do have the option on this machine to select various sensors and get live data. So we're going to give that a go, I think, this time on this car. So what shall we have? Apologies guys, I'm struggling a bit with reflections today. It's a beautiful day, look at it. I don't know, it was freezing about a week ago it was freezing, but the temperature's rocketed up. It was 17 degrees the other day, and what are we on today? It's 16 degrees today. Go figure. Last day of October. Right, okay, I'm going to pick something a bit interesting. So I've picked coolant temperature, and I've also picked, you can pick 455. That's amazing, isn't it? These modern cars, that's how many data streams can come in from the onboard diagnostic socket. 455 bits of information can come up. So I've picked coolant temperature. Combine, what does that do? Combine. Oh yeah, we can get a graph up. That's cool. All this stuff fascinates me. I've just found this here, engine oil level history, which I've not seen before. It's amazing what can be stored in these engine control modules nowadays. So let's say the car had a serious engine problem and it went into Audi. They can actually check up to 9 times the history of the oil level. So let's have a look at a couple of these. So engine oil level history, odometer reading at entry 79,288 kilometers, oil level 67.9%. That's interesting. It's telling me at the moment the oil level is at 54.4%. No warning though, it says 0. So I'm going to check that on the dipstick when we're finished. 54%. Doesn't sound right, does it? I wonder if that's... It can't be the capacity. I'm wondering if that's the level, as in kind of the level between where it needs topping up. So, you know, between low and high, which is normally a litre. So maybe it's halfway up this dipstick for that. I don't know, it's got me intrigued, so I'm going to have a look at that. Let's see what the coolant temperature's gone up to now. 84 degrees. We're nearly at thermostat opening at the moment. So there we go, then works on the Audi, doesn't it? For code reading and data streams, which is what it's supposed to do, what it says on the tin. So yeah, it's just fascinated me that as in terms of the fact there's the 455 different data streams that you can pick up there on this car. So for the final test, we're going to go over onto the Jag, see if it will do a code read on the Jag. Remember, this machine isn't for doing a actuator test like the previous machine that I tested. This is purely for multi-vehicle code reading and data streams. So just remember that 455 different data streams on a 2021 car. Let's see how that compares to a 2006 Jaguar. I've ended up keeping this Audi longer than I thought, so I need to do a catch-up video all about it, because we're now on 51,000 miles on this Audi, and there's some interesting things that I want to share with you, so watch out for that on a future video. Here we go then, my 2006 Jaguar. Let's get in this with the launch. Alright, third and final test, so let's get the ignition on. It hasn't done anything yet. That's interesting. We're showing power, but it hasn't fired up. It's interesting how it fired up straight away without being turned on in the Audi. Let's turn it on. Okay, it's booting up. Oh, here we go. It's doing its thing. Yep, it's found it. It's found the car. Jaguar XK 2007. Done a diagnostic report. Everything normal. It's good. So, on this car we can do engine control module, transmission control module, ABS, and SRS. Engine control module. So, yeah, so we had 400 and something data streams, didn't we, with the... Let's go into this, see what happens. So, read fault code, clear memory, read data stream. 170. That's a lot less, isn't it? And that's not the scan tool. What that is, that's how things have progressed in automotive technology. So the Audi from it's a 70 plate coming up 2021 in the code reader, and this is a 56 plate coming up 2007 on here. And the difference between that amount of time, this car is giving us 170 data streams and the Audi's giving us over 400. That's fascinating, isn't it? So yeah, everything you need to have a look at various data streams to help you diagnose any potential problems. Let's just see if it will go into transmission control module. Data streams. Yeah, so throttle position, information on the CAN system, oil temperatures, gear positions, park or neutral signal for the starter, shift lock signals, transmission oil temperatures and things like that, solenoids. Yep, very useful, very useful. Just another nice little function on this. You can go into a menu where you've got data and you've got a DTC lookup library. So let's try this. if I remember, one of the ones I can remember off the top of my head is 0101, which I think is mass airflow meter. So let's change that to 101, like that, P0101. Okay, yeah, mass airflow. Mass or volume airflow, a circuit range performance. Mass airflow sensor is to convert airflow to electric signal and send it to the ECU, which is one of the basic signals to decide injection volume, blah blah blah. So yeah, there's a nice little P code lookup function on this tool. Well, there we go then. What do I think of this launch scan tool for multi-vehicles, this CRP129EV2? Yeah, it's a good product. As you've seen there, 3 completely different cars, fires straight up, gets us into the system, gets us into the codes, which is exactly what we want to do really, isn't it, with a code reader. That's the main function of this tool, is to get us into the codes, get us into the live data, and help us diagnose the problem on the vehicle. And also those extra functions that are on there as well are quite useful. So if you fancy getting yourself one of these, check out the information on the video and you will find a link to where you can buy this, and you'll see a promotional offer as well with some money off. So if you're a bit like me and you end up doing jobs on friends, family and lots of different types of cars, maybe this is the scan tool for you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the playlists around life on cars. And I'll see you all again very soon with something else. Who knows, maybe I'll be using this on a project in the future. Take care and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Bye bye.